The price of coffee has had some great trends, and just this year, actually this month, traded up to its best levels since January 2015. So can we expect further moves higher in coffee, or actually now is all of the bad news in the price and it's time for it to turn down? I think coffee is a really interesting market, and it's one, I think, as with a lot of commodities, that is not really paid attention to by plenty of traders out there. But I think you could well be missing a trick if you don't have these sort of markets on your list of ones to check. We've seen this great run, really off the lows in November of last year, just ahead of a dollar, trading up as high as $1.65 recently. The price has come off quite sharply since those highs in early June. So what I'm wondering, is this actually a buying opportunity before coffee pushes higher again? Or actually, have we seen the high, that 6-year high? That's it for a while in coffee now. And now we need to think about going short. So as usual in this video, I'll talk a bit about what's been driving the price, the levels to watch. Then we'll come back and take a look at it in a lot more detail. Hello, I'm David Jones from Capital.com. And I thought this time round, as you saw, we should take a look at what's been going on with the coffee market. I think commodities can offer some really interesting opportunities when it comes to trends, but I think it is an area of the market that is often ignored by lots of retail traders. So I thought let's talk a bit about what's been going on with coffee, then jump back onto the platform and see if there's an opportunity and a trade to do. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, if you could click on subscribe, it does help support the channel. It means we can continue pushing out lots of content on different markets. Plus, of course, every Friday at 2:30 UK time, we do the live streams from YouTube. If you're subscribed to our channel with the alarm bell notification clicked, you get notified just as we're about to go live. Right, let's get into it and take a look at coffee in a bit more detail. So plenty of commodity markets have seen a really strong run this year for all sorts of different reasons. Supply problems, transportation problems due to the coronavirus, concerns about inflation, but other factors as well, which brings us to coffee. So it hasn't been alone in having a great run. Just at the beginning of this month, the price of coffee traded up to a 6-year high, best levels since 2015. And one of the factors pushing coffee so high was that the ongoing drought in Brazil, which some people think could affect as much as 50% of that company's production. So anything that affects supply, of course, and a big squeeze like that can have a corresponding impact on the price in the market. Because of the rise we've seen in the price of coffee, there's been, I think, something of a trade dispute going on with some farmers trying to renegotiate the prices they'd agreed for supplying coffee to traders and exporters around the world. Forecasters think there's going to be no immediate end to this drought and is expecting it to continue through August, so we could have still a few more months of this left. But of course, markets are always forward-looking. Even if the drought does continue, it doesn't necessarily mean the price of coffee is going to go up. It's already dropped this month. It's set that 6-year high beginning of June. It's dropped back 10% from that. So is it all now priced into the price of coffee and there's no upside left? Let's talk about the levels to watch, then we'll jump onto the platform and look at it in more detail. So for me, the most immediate hurdle on the upside is that 1st of June high, 165 up there. I think if we can break through there, we could well see the price move higher still. We have been sliding since that 1st of June high. For me, the immediate level on the downside is around $1.45, a low from May. As usual, though, let's put some color on these numbers. Let's look on the platform and take a look at things in a bit more detail. I've got this chart going back the last 10 years, and you can see there have been some pretty significant swings for the price of coffee over that time. That latest one, as I said at the beginning, trading up briefly through those 2016 highs and moving back to where it was in January 2015. Before that, we had been in a gradual uptrend anyway. The price of coffee had been trending higher over the last couple of years from these lows just ahead of 80 in April, and then, of course, took off from October last year. So what I'm more interested at the moment from a trading point of view is what's been going on over the last 12 months or so. So let's just change the chart. I thought we'd start things off with the moving average, classic trend following system. And you can see back here in July when the price moves above the moving average, that's a buy signal. That's July 2020. The price runs up. We get a sell signal in September. Some of the latest signals we've had, bringing things up to date, a buy signal in April here on the move through about 130. And it did a pretty good job on the way up of providing sort of a floating support. And we've seen it give a sell signal with a fall through 155. So at the moment, below that 20-day moving average is bearish on coffee. Let's see whether that could be the right thing to do from a trading point of view. If we take a look at the RSI, some of the more recent signals on the way up, we were in such a strong trend. Clearly, the RSI going overbought on a fairly regular basis. And this is, as I often say, the problem in a strong trending market, that the RSI will give us an extreme signal far too early. Since the sell-off, we haven't really gone that close to being oversold again. At the moment, the RSI is trading pretty much in the middle. So I don't think the RSI is adding too much to the equation at the moment. So what I want to focus on is the price action. So I suppose if we're looking at trend, one place to take the trend line from is the early November lows down around $1, that sort of level. And okay, we don't have 3 touches on this trend line, so it's not a textbook trend line, but we've clearly got a succession of higher highs and higher lows. The test here would be if the market sold off another 10% or so from where we are now, down to 135, 130, does that trend line hold? The problem is, of course, in strong trends, we often don't get pullbacks to the trend line. The market has a bit of a pause and soars away. So I think there's a couple of ways of playing this. If you thought that the high was in for coffee, it already factored in the drought news, going short with a stop loss, for me, probably somewhere above that early June high, somewhere above 165, could be one strategy. But I'd still be quite tempted to be a buyer, to give the trend another chance. Let's flip this over to a shorter term chart. So at the time of recording, we'd seen, of course, the market run up from April, and we've been sliding for much of June. But at the moment, it is making a bit of an effort to try and break out of that correction. So I suppose the aggressive trade here, if you thought the rally wasn't quite finished yet, is to be a buyer. When it comes to stop losses, for me, there's an obvious place to stop. These lows, the other side of 145. We've got the lows in there, 18th of June, low in here, May the 24th. I might give it a bit more room. I'll go 140 for a stop. So that's the trade I'm going to do here. I'm going to take the view that although it has taken quite a battering during June, there could still be some strength left in this uptrend. But if it starts slipping much below 145, I should come out of the trade. But I'm willing to give the market one last go. So let's set up the trade. Okay, I'm ready to go. So the price at the moment is trading around 152, 153, that sort of area. I want to buy £2,750 where the market's trading now. I'll put a stop loss in as usual at 140. You can see that there on the chart, the other side of these lows that go back to the middle of May. I think if it does trade down there, that trend looks well and truly over that uptrend. But I'm banking on perhaps the correction is coming to an end. Let's place the trade. So that's it. The trade's filled. I bought at 152.65, buying 27.50 coffee. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. I think if we see a bit more strength from here, perhaps it tees up another move back to those 6-year highs, which were only set early June. And then if we can break out through there, I'd then be looking to target the earlier January 2015 highs up around 182, that sort of level. And if we break there, let's not get too ahead of ourselves, perhaps all the way back up to 2. But as I say, if it slips below 140, it does look like this extension of the trend is over for now, and the risk is for lower prices. It'd be really interesting to see how things pan out over the next few weeks and next few months. That's it for this update in coffee. We'll come back to it and see how it fares. But I think it's a really interesting market to watch. We'll leave things there. So for now, from me, David Jones and Capital.com, good luck with your trading. For more trading videos just like this, please subscribe to our channel.